Let's dive. Good morning, YouTube. Reseller Mom here. Welcome to today's video. Today we are going to talk about ungating Amazon so that you can sell big brands, big categories such as Nike, Bali, but basically this process will work for every other category and brand and ASIN out there. So today is February 2nd. It's early in the morning, trying to do these videos before my daughter gets up and going to school here. So thank you for joining me, and like always, if this video gives you any sort of information that's useful, please give it a like, and I'd love to hear your comments below. Let's dive. Like always, I am not really big on trying to clickbait people for views and whatnot. What you see is what you get. I will show you a proven way to do things that I have done myself and have tested, and they work. So I need to point out a few things here. First, this process is using Amazon to make a wholesale / distributor purchase and using that invoice to get ungated on Amazon, because basically Amazon wants you to have a recognized, authentic distributor, and they are one. You will need to have an Amazon business account to do so, and you will need to follow these directions outright. So, I mean, that's pretty much the sum of the video right there, is using Amazon to make purchases. And so if you already know how to do that, you could stop right now. But if you are wanting a very detailed walkthrough, that is what this video is going to continue on with, and I will show you some examples. I will show you the one I used for children's sleepwear, and then I found one for Bali and one for Nike, so if you are interested in those two brands. But basically the process will be the same for whatever you want it to be, assuming Amazon sells the product, which they pretty much sell all the big brands. This process is not going to make you money. It's actually going to cost you. It's very, very hard, if not impossible, to purchase from Amazon and then make any money off of it, because their price is already going to be pretty low. So you're going to have to find things that are going to mitigate that cost. You want to find them as cheap as you can, right? But it still will be cheaper than buying any sort of ungating service, or possibly buying it from, the work and time going into finding a wholesaler, making a minimum purchase, and getting it shipped to you, etc. This will not give you authorization to sell that brand. A lot of people get confused. They think that once you are ungated or authorized on Amazon, that you're in the clear from IP claims and other brand owners coming after you. That is not the case. You can still get in trouble with the brand owner and have to provide invoices. Now, luckily an invoice from Amazon will be fine for fighting any of those cases, but let's say you use this process and get ungated at Nike, and then you go off to Ross and you buy a bunch of Nikes, and Nike comes after you. If the brand is doing a formal IP complaint against you, you will have to get a retraction from that brand. My lawyer's information is down below. Every once in a while I do get into trouble, and she has been able to get me out of those sticky situations. If it's a customer complaint, retail receipts work fine, but if it's a brand IP complaint, they do not work. I forgot one thing to clarify, so I'm going to pop this little segment in somewhere in the beginning of the video. I think everybody needs to understand how Amazon gates things, and it's got tiers, right? So you could have a category that you are gated in, that you need an invoice to get ungated in that category. You've got subcategories, then you've got brands within that category, and then you've got particular ASINs that might be gated as well. So when you look to get your invoice, if you're going after, say, Nike, but you're gated in clothing, you might get ungated in Nike and might be able to sell some over in like a sports category, but if you're gated in the clothing category, you won't be able to sell in the clothing category. But that Nike invoice will be good to get ungated in the clothing category as well. You can use that ASIN for both a category and a brand ungate, as long as it matches up and all of the things match up. Alright, thought I'd clarify that. I do love filming in the mornings, but my allergies just go haywire in the mornings, and it's conflicting with video filming, so we'll just have to push through. Alright, so when you are on Amazon and you're on the page of add a product, or you're out there scanning, you can see the same thing on your phone app usually, you're going to come across a few different options with products. So the first one that we're going to talk about is the when you come across it and it says apply to sell. That's where you're going to be able to get ungated for things. So we need to find products that you have this apply to sell. And when you click that apply to sell, you have very detailed instructions on what kind of invoice and documentation they need. Sometimes you hit this apply to sell and it's asking for a transparency for the transparency program, or something that maybe you aren't going to be able to get with the process I'm showing you. You're going to be looking for one that requires an invoice, and the one that we're doing is this children. I use this product right here, this Frankenstein pajamas. They wanted pictures of the products, a copy of my insurance, and an invoice. So that's something to note too, that if it's requiring a copy of your insurance, you need to have the insurance, and it needs to tick all of those boxes. I will show you my insurance in here. Now, some don't require insurance, so again, always click on the apply to sell button and see what those instructions are. Don't just go off of what my instructions were for this one, because it could be different for different products. Now, if you see this not available button on products, it means you can't sell it. Levi's has been locked down since I can remember. I don't know anybody that can ever sell Levi's. Levi's is got a deal with Amazon, and Amazon sells their stuff. Levi's, Dockers, most Dockers. There was something else. I can't remember. There was another brand that's like Levi's, but when there's no available, it doesn't matter how many invoices you have. It's not open. Now, that openness has changed with different things. This morning I got an email that Crocs the shoes are locking down. It used to not require invoices, and now it is. Sometimes you can hit the apply to sell button and it automatically approves you based off of your performance matrix, and sometimes it doesn't. So I will have to look into Crocs later. I heard Crocs was going after people for IP claims and whatnot, so I'm not really sure I want to chase that down the street, because it may not be worth my time if the company is not going to be friendly with resellers in a general sense. Here is a little look at some of the requirements. This one is for that first camera one, because I didn't take a snapshot of the pajama one when I was doing it. I should have. I wasn't sure this was going to work. And the story behind this was I have a friend. I have actually more than one. But anyhow, she was telling me that she's fairly new to Amazon. She's been using Amazon to purchase and get ungated for things. And I'm like, really? That works? And I came across a Bolo in my Bolo group. Again, my Bolo group is linked down below. I'm with FBA Insiders, and they showcased some pajamas that were by from 5 to 10, depending on your area, and they're going for $30 to $35. And I'm like, yes, I want that deal. $10 more or more on profits for pajamas? Yeah, sign me up. But when I went to go sell them, I was gated, and I must have gotten gated when the shenanigans with pajamas came down. And this is where some history on selling on Amazon is sometimes useful to have. About a year ago or whatnot, there's like little tags on pajamas, something to do with flammable material, non-flammable material, with fires at night and kids in pajamas, and if it's too hot it melts to the kid's skin. Anyhow, so they have to have warnings on them and whatnot. Anyhow, so they were cleaning up that back end on Amazon, and I probably got gated during that time because I haven't really sourced pajamas in the last year. So anyhow, when I went to go list these pajamas, they were gated, and I was like, well, I'm going to try my friend's way, and lo and behold, yesterday got ungated, so I was really happy. All right, when we're looking at the requirements, you want to read every single line every single thing, and you need to make sure that what you're doing is going to satisfy all of those things, or you know, you're going to have to return or get rid of your product on a different platform. It's always good to have another way out. I usually sell things like that on eBay if it doesn't work out here, or I buy things that I know I'm going to use, such as if I was ungating in food. You know, what's my family's favorite food? Okay, they really like boxes of mac and cheese. Well, then I'm going to buy my units of mac and cheese, and if I don't resell them, we're just going to use them as in the family. Now, I don't have any use for 10 pairs of kids' pajamas, so I know I'm going to be taking a loss on them, and that's okay. I was very happy. I'll show you the prices in a bit here. So we've got a date. It's got to be a fairly new invoice within the last 180 days. This is great because it gives you a few chances to submit documentation if you mess up or have something wrong. You know, you can keep trying. Sometimes people submit even the correct stuff and it doesn't go through on the first try, and it takes a little bit of persistence to get Amazon to accept it. It needs to include your name, address, and matching information on your selling account. Very big. This is, you know, it's a small little bullet, but it is very big information. If you are changing addresses or have a different address, or, you know, maybe you ship to somebody else's address, let's say you have a third-party packing center or something, it's got to all match up, okay? Don't skip over these small things. Make them match up. Needs to include the name and address of the manufacturer. Very important. You can sometimes annotate those in, especially the address. That's what worked on my Squishmallow invoice. I annotated in the address of the manufacturer. Show the combined purchase of at least 10 units. That's not 10 products. That's 10 units. We'll go over more of that. Omit pricing, optional. I've never omitted pricing in 6 years. I did when I first started, like back in 2015, and I have not since. Please note that we may verify your documentation by contacting the vendors to identify your application. They do that. They do call vendors. Now, all of these, the one for insurance had its own bullet points, and the one requirement for pictures had its own bullet points too. So you want to make sure all of that stuff is ticked off. And what I usually do is I will open up the requirements, copy, paste them, take a screenshot, whatever you want to do, and have them in like a little Word document so that I can double check them as I'm going through purchasing and make sure that everything is good. So let's get into some searching. In my case, I was looking for children's pajamas, and you know, you gotta go and search and try to find the cheapest pajamas out there that you can, or you can try to find ones that would make money, but that's going to take even longer to find. Some things that helped me out with searching was, instead of type in what you want. If it's Nike, type in Nike. If it's Bali, type in Bali. I believe I typed in Bali Bras, but it doesn't really matter. For Nike, we found socks. For Bali, it was a bra. For children's pajamas, it's pajamas. Some useful things to know is usually like short sleeve pajamas are typically cheaper than long sleeve pajamas. Singles are usually cheaper than sets, just like with Nike. Nike accessories are typically cheaper than Nike shoes, so up here I wouldn't want to put Nike sneakers because I just want to find the accessories to get the brand name to get unlocked. This sort by featured, you're going to want to change that from low price to high price, and then I go ahead and select the Amazon Prime just because it filters out anybody selling out of their house. You know, you can't really filter by just being sold by Amazon, unfortunately. But Prime does cut that down significantly. I first didn't click the Prime, and there was all sorts of pajamas, all like, 99 cents or something. And I was like, what's going on here? Well, it's $10 shipping, so that's where they're, it's a boutique or brand selling out of their warehouse. And, you want to filter those out as best as you can. So you're going to find the lowest price that the seller is Amazon.com. Very, very important. And when you switch over, because eventually we're going to switch over to your business Amazon account, You're going to make sure that you can purchase 10 units from Amazon.com. The first 3 pajamas that I found, Amazon only had less than 5 in stock of each one. So I had to search around a little bit until I found one that they had plenty in stock where I could get 10 altogether. You're going to double check that you are gated in that one. So go ahead, and once you think you've found a winner, grab that ASIN, pop it into the add a product, and make sure you have the apply to sell button, and make sure that apply to sell button is exactly the stuff that you've been researching and need to get, right? The bolo that I was getting in my group was obviously sold on someplace not Amazon, and so I needed to find pajamas on Amazon that had the exact same requirements, so I knew that once I unlocked for this one, I would be open for the other one. You know, you got to match up. Double, triple check, because you don't really want to make purchases and then return them if you can. It makes a bad name for resellers out there. I hate when I go to stores and they're like, yeah, we don't like resellers because they buy stuff and then they come and return it all if it doesn't sell. And you know, we just want to make good community things out there. I want when I walk in a store for people to see me come in and want to do business with me. And the same with Amazon. You don't want to piss them off. They do track bad sellers. One of my girlfriends got 86 from Amazon for giving too many negative reviews in a small period of time. They track everything, both for buyers and sellers. You're going to double check the requirements to make sure you purchase the correct amount and any other components such as your insurance. You know, go over your insurance requirements, go over your picture requirements. I messed up on the pictures. I'll show you what I messed up on. I need to follow my own advice, right? You need to get 10 of the products. So if the listing is a 3-pack, you're going to need to buy 10 of all 3. You know, so you'll be buying 30 total. If we go back up for a second, see this pajama pair? If you wanted to do it on this one, you would need to buy 10 of the, what is that, dragon, and 10 of the gorillas. So you would have 20 pajamas total, or 10 of that ASIN. Okay, so you're going to switch over to your business Amazon for purchasing. Do not purchase at Prime. You don't buy and sell on Prime, because that's against Amazon's terms of service. But you can buy all day long through your Amazon business account and then flip it onto your selling account. I have done this with Squishmallows, some of the other hot toys that were going in and out of stock in Q4. Buy them when Amazon's in stock. They go out the next week and then flip them. But it's you got to make sure you're doing it right. So you're going to make the purchase, and then you're going to download the invoice, and then you need to wait for the product to arrive to take said photos. Start rounding up your things, and I put them into a folder somewhere on my computer just so that it's all tidied up, because I have a lot of things like this, and I got to keep organized. Keep your electronics organized. For children's pajamas, I needed a copy of my business insurance, so, you know, round that up, get that ready to go. My invoice, get it annotated, highlighted. I don't think I actually highlighted anything for this one. I just did it straight because I was like, Amazon's probably going to know how to read their own invoice, one would think. And then it said very specifically that you need real product pictures. I typically like to have my hand in the pictures, or, you know, me holding the product in some way, just so that they can see that it is a real product pictures. Now, do not share any of this stuff. Let's say my friend wanted to get ungated too. I'm not going to share my pictures with her. You know, maybe take different pictures of the same product, but Amazon has back-end bots that check to see if the same invoices, pictures, and whatnots have been submitted. And I don't understand enough on the electronic parts to know. I just know that there was a time where people were kind of buying one invoice and sharing it between a group, and they all got banned. So don't share any of your electronic stuffs with anybody out there, and don't purchase it either. If somebody says, "Oh, I can sell you an invoice that will get you ungated for Nike," turn the other way and run. So here is what my invoice looked like for these pajama sets. It's costing me $119 for this Ungate, which is not bad, less than 120 bucks, and I will sell these and probably recoup. I think I priced it out right around half my money back, so it's really going to cost me 60 bucks, which to me is not a bad price for an Ungate. Okay, so I've blanked out the blue. If you were to annotate, you would take your highlighter in, this is just like a PDF edit or a picture edit. I don't know. I'm on Windows. I click whatever buttons are on here. You should have similar buttons whether you're on Mac or PC. And sometimes if I annotate it, I will go through and highlight what I'm doing. If I were to annotate, I would pop in the ASIN right here. You know, just add a text and pop in the ASIN. And or I've had to annotate the address, like see how we don't have an address for Amazon here. I would maybe annotate and put an address down at the bottom here just so that they knew my supplier / distributor address. This is what my insurance looks like. Feel free to contact them if you are interested in getting insurance with them. I have absolutely loved them. I've been using them for years. I know that Amazon came down this fall asking for people's insurance. It's coming. If you haven't been asked, you're going to be asked. This is what my policy looks like. You want to make sure it has the things Amazon is asking for the application. We've got coverage of $1 million. We've got the policy holder name, my name and whatnot matches my Amazon account. Here's their phone numbers if you want to call them. They're probably the most popular next to Next Insurance. So NEXT is the other kind of more popular, or as popular as Ashland Insurance. It's called Ashland Hayden Insurance, the Hartford Business Center. So sometimes I refer to them as Hartford, sometimes Ashland. It's the same company. What the big thing is this part down here. I'll blow it up in a minute, but this has to be on your policy. So if you're going to bundle, like I know some people bundle with whatever their home and auto, you're going to make sure that your business insurance has this certificate holder down here. I love them because they pretty much just make sure every time I update my insurance, they automatically send it to Amazon on my behalf. So I'm always up to date and up to speed with my insurance. I pay, it was either $63, $68 a month for my insurance for what you see here, and I will have to up this year because I'm moving into a warehouse and I will probably need to, I know I will definitely need to update all of this stuff and probably pay a little bit more insurance. In fact, I know it'll be more. It never goes down. So here's that part blown up. I couldn't get a great picture of it, but it says certificate holder, and it specifically says Amazon.com services and its affiliates and assignees, the P.O. box of their location in Seattle. So if you're getting your insurance kicked back and you're like, what, why am I getting it kicked back? It's probably this right here. Has to be on there. Yeah, mine was kicked back because they forgot to put it on there. Anyhow, they fixed it up and got me straightened out really quick. They're good at answering the phone and fixing things like that really, really quick. Good customer service. So now here are the pictures that I took. Amazon does not want stock photos. Here's a stock photo. Don't try to submit the stock photo. They want a real life picture. You can see here that it's pretty real life. That's okay. They're not looking for stock photos. They're looking to see if you actually are holding the product. That's why sometimes I put my hand in the picture. I didn't this time, but you can clearly see that this is my work table, and I plopped it out of the bag. So I submitted, oh boy, I submitted this picture on the left and then these two, and I got it kicked back, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But we've got these, so I have a fourth picture that I added. I've got the picture of the tag. I've got this part in this picture, and I've got the safety warning and this tag in this third picture, and I got it kicked back because the images provided do not show the manufacturer brand owner's name or contact information. Accepted contact information includes physical address, website URL, or phone number. And kind of felt like saying back, well, if you read it upside down, you could see it right there. That's the website right there. But you need to make things really, really easy for Amazon. So I went ahead and did another picture like this. thinking that maybe they needed the bag UPC that it came in. And then here you can clearly see a little bit better that it's childrensplace.com for the contact information. And the second time with this fourth picture, it went through. I named this file something like web URL photo so that the person looking at it would know that that's what you're supposed to be looking at or looking for in this particular photo. And then that worked. So I got this email. Thank you for your application. Your request has been approved and you are permitted to sell in this category. So I got that yesterday. I was super excited. So I started doing the screenshots to put these slides together for y'all. And went ahead and ordered that bolo yesterday. And I'll pull in a second here what the estimated profit is on it. But I was pretty excited. So now we're going to go over a couple other brands, and I did some research to find you something in Bali and something in Nike. You don't have to use them, but I want to show you I just went and peeked at the bolo that I purchased yesterday, and my estimated profits are $907. So yeah, I may lose $60 to getting ungated, but it's worth the $900 in profit I'll make off of it this week. This is a numbers games. So went and looked to see how much I would lose on the children's sleepwear. This is the actual ASIN if you want to go ahead and grab that. I tried to put the ASINs and what it was for up very bold on here, so you can pause and go look it up if you wanted to do that, or just use the same searching method that I'm using to find your own. Let's see here. So yeah, I bought them for $11.91. It looks like I'm going to lose $6 a piece. If you do the math, spent $120. I should get about $60 back when I flip these. And again, you may want to just sell them over on what is it, eBay or Mercari or something. And because these are monster pajamas, I might hold on to them and try to sell them closer to Halloween, just because I think they would go up in desire and price and everything. I could look at the Keep a chart and see, you know, if I hold out towards you know, August, September, would that get me my money back? I don't know. I don't typically like holding products though. So we've got some bras going on here. I went ahead and was looking for Bali Bras. I typed in Bali Bras. You can see on here there's several people selling it, but we're looking specifically for Amazon to Amazon. And then you're going to want to see this box where you can see the different prices. Clearly, you want to go for the $9.99 or maybe the $11.98. You don't really want to spend $22 a bra if you can help it at all. When it says sold by MediaFlix, don't get that. And that was the $9.99 one. Let's see here. I didn't move. This one you can see right here. It's sold by Amazon. Amazon, we've got $13.59. Here's the ASIN for that. I've blown it up right here, B072P. This is for Bali. So this would cost you $130 to get ungated in Bali. Go ahead and try and find it cheaper. I wasn't really finding much under 15 for Bali that Amazon had, and they have a stock count of over 1,000. So you know you can make a purchase of 10. Like I said, with the pajamas, I found a couple that Amazon was on, but they were down to 2 or 3 on the cheaper price ones, so I couldn't make a full 10 count order. Here's my Nike find. They were children's, really cute little girls' socks. So we've got the ASIN blown up right here. The small was $9.85. It's in stock. I didn't switch over to see if it had more than 10, but you can easily do that. And again, I've already showed you the process on how to do this, but you want to make sure it's sold by Amazon, ships from Amazon, sold by Amazon. It is Nike. You're going to plug this ASIN in over on the add a product. Make sure that it's one that you are gated on, that you want to apply to sell for, because not like my computer's dinging. I have had brands where I can sell some of it, but not all of it. So you want to make sure that everything matches up. It takes a little bit of work, but it is worth it. Okay, so getting ungated for Nike would be less than $100 which I think is really worth it. Again, if you resold these socks back on Amazon, you're probably going to lose half that money, so you recoup about half of your price. That's it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video and walkthrough and given you some ideas on how to get ungated and things. My friend used it for ungating, I believe, so far in, let's see here, grocery, beauty, I want to say health as well. And now she is going after other brands because it has worked, and it should work for you too, as long as you follow all the instructions correctly and cross every T, dot every I. If this video has helped you out at all, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. If you have any comments or suggestions, go ahead and leave them down below. I would love to hear from you. Take care. Have